That's what you should expect from me at this point.
There is a serious what? Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna.
Wait, what is happening?
I was gonna say there's a serious debate here over what Curry's role should actually even be. We got Vanity Sova coming out here. We got Victor on the. What is going on?
OpTic are proving themselves to be the absolute master of off-meta comps, particularly revolving around Victor. First it was Neon, and now Yoru, and OpTic are proving that they know how to build strats to catch their opponents off guard with these picks and make these agents look good, even when other teams have been unable to. We're going to be putting extra focus on the attack half because they dominated so hard we didn't even get to see that much of the defense. So we're going to be paying special attention to how Finesse and Crashies are using their util to set Victor up for these entries, along with the other supporting cast, of course. Let's dive right in. OpTic starts their pistol round by defaulting for map control. They Prowler into B main while stunning A main to prevent any pushes on both extremities. They then double swing in mid and find the pick on Mitch. After finding the opening pick, OpTic calls to regroup for an A hit. C9 is exploring towards mid and Leaf starts walking up Cat. Victor uses a teleport lineup from A main that lands on Dice, and then he teleports to it while supported by a haunt from A main. C9 has called to play retake on A while waiting for Leaf to find pressure on the flank. Zeppa finds one kill through the smoke, but OpTic is able to get onto site and get the plant down for a 4v4 retake. Vanity darts, but it's before his team is ready to act off of it and it gets instantly shot. Curry prepares his blind, but right as he's about to throw it, Victor jumps up and finds the kill on Vanity, who is alone in heaven. Zeppa gives Finesse a duel on door, which Finesse wins. Leaf then finds one on the flank, and Curry swings heaven, but unfortunately the timing of the swings gives Finesse and Crashies a 2v1 on both Curry and then Leaf to secure the round. Victor's going to use a lineup similar to this one repeatedly throughout this game. He's able to send a TP that goes both through sight, hits Dice, and then goes back towards Hell, and he can choose the timing of which he TPs to it. Victor's able to mix up whether he's TPing, fake TPing, and then whether he's TPing to Dice or back sight in order to confuse his opponents while the utility spam comes in from his teammates. In round 3, OpTic uses both the Prowler in B main and the stun on A main to control extremities at the start of the round as their default. Victor grabs the A main orb in order to get his ult, and they break a recon bolt from Vanity. At this point, they leave A main and regroup towards mid. Marv stays behind to maintain control of A main and leave their options open for later in the round. Victor throws a TP from Cat that ends up bottom mid, while Ye finds the opening pick on Leaf. Crashies had used his second Prowler in order to clear out bottom mid for Victor, but because they find that opening pick on Leaf, Victor TPs in immediately and throws the decoy along with a smoke from Marv to try to take control of Pizza and Market. At this point, C9 knows that OpTic is trying to take control of mid, and they need to do something because they're in man disadvantage. So Vanity and Mitch both push A main and B main extremities in order to look for picks, and Vanity finds the first and Mitch the second, before falling back onto sites. From here, C9 falls into passive angles, holding space and preventing OpTic from finding any openings. Victor tries to push up mid, while Ye tries to push into the tree, but Curry is able to swing in glass and find the first pick, while Finesse ults A to try to create space for Victor to come out CT. Unfortunately, Zeppa is ready, leaving FNS in a 1v4 that's unwinnable. The Cat TP lineup and Prowler combination from Tiles is going to be used repeatedly to take control of bottom mid. In round 4, Crashies only has a ghost due to the fact that they invested 2 rifles into the previous round. Because Finesse was able to save, they still have 4 rifles. Finesse stuns Cat instead of A main this round, which pushes Zeppa off. Victor and Crashies do the same TP plus Prowler to get control of bottom mid, as well as clear out the smoke. Victor once again sends out a decoy through the bottom mid smoke, but this time you can see the power of it in that it clears the trip out of Market. Crashies throws a haunt from Tiles to Market roof, which scans Mitch, forcing him to TP off B main. Crashies then uses his second Prowler to re-clear B main, confirming that Mitch is gone. Vanity drones to re-clear mid, and Victor breaks it and then rotates towards Cat after getting spotted quickly by Leaf. Off of the drone, Mitch tries to re-clear bottom mid. After getting smoked off, Zeppa throws his fragment to try to stop the push, but gets spotted out by Victor's ult. Victor leaves and goes towards site, and Zeppa flashes and then falls off after getting blinded and spams through the smoke. Curry also spams from glass and finds the first kill on Ye before getting forced off the angle by a stun. Finesse had stayed behind on Cat and finds the next kill on Mitch pushing through mid. Leaf dashes out of garden to start the retake. He peeks out towards Jen and finds the first kill in Hell. Victor immediately swings and trades from Jen, and Marv swings from A main and finds Zeppa in tree. Marv repositions towards Jen, while Victor plays crouched at the jump up. Victor finds Curry unaware, Vanity trades, but then is in a 1v2 situation which OpTic is able to close out. The market haunt from Crashies unfortunately was never captured on camera, so this is the best I could find. It should scan into market as well as slightly into B main and most of front site B. In round 5, C9 forces up with Leaf's knives. OpTic is going for another straight up A hit where they blink Omen across to take control of A main and flash anyone who might be playing close. They then set up their execute, using the YORU TP along with a haunt from the bicycle in order to take sight. An aftershock prevents anyone coming through door, while a flash blinds anyone who might be holding the smoke. C9 gives up sight and starts playing for a full 5-man retake. Leaf tries to take a quick shot and dash out, but Victor, having TP'd into sight, is able to jump up and punish him. C9 sets up their retake with 3 in heaven and Curry ready to blind back Jen as well as the jump up. Zeppa mollies back Jen while Victor counterflashes to try to stop the push. Vanity's dart lands back Dice, scanning both Victor and Ye. Unfortunately, Victor's flash blinded many of the Heaven players and prevents any spam kills from coming through. The fragment has pushed 2 players in front of Jen, and Mitch is able to swing out wide and find the first. Curry swings out of door and gets killed by Finesse from main, but unfortunately Crashy's Prowler blinds Mitch, preventing the refrag. Finesse is able to turn his attention towards Vanity and Heaven, finding the first pick, and Zeppa has a flash in hand, which allows him to find 2 kills, but it's a 1v4 at this point and the round is cleaned up. Crashies uses this haunt to scan almost all of sight. I think you may be able to hide from it behind Jen and maybe Dice or Hell, but I'm not sure. I'd have to test it out some more. The haunt, aftershock, and flash completely clear out every bit of front sight, allowing Victor to safely TP to Dice with his back turned to the door. He's then able to swing back Dice and back Jen, which might be able to hide from the haunt, and then clear out Hell. Round 6 is an eco from C9 where they stack B. OpTic does their mid default, but this time they don't TP Victor in and instead fake the TP. OpTic is playing an extremely passive default, waiting for any pushes, probably knowing that it's an eco round. However, C9 is just sitting on site, hoping that OpTic is going to push into their stack. The second Prowler is used to clear out B main, which allows Finesse to grab the orb, but he gets shocked as well as scouted by a drone. Victor sends his decoy up mid, most likely to try to break the trip, but this round is in tree. Crashies ults front sight and then seizes on site to try and sell a fake towards B. Mitch has been soloing A, holding A main with a trip in tree. He's able to find Victor's jump peak, forcing OpTic off of their push. After losing Victor, OpTic tries to pivot back towards B, but there's only 20 seconds left in the round when the hit comes through. Vanity is hiding in back sight with a Bucky, and Finesse tries to get the plant down with 9 seconds remaining. Vanity is able to peek out, stop the plant, and win the round for his team. It's unfortunate that Victor got picked while jump peeking, but he also could have just flashed the angle, and their whole strat revolved around this fake. OpTic has multiple rounds in this game that get really close against ecos, or lose them like this one, and it seems that they kind of overcomplicate their defaults and their plans when they could just be trying to leverage their gun advantage. Round 7 starts with another extremity default from OpTic with a Prowler and stun on B and A mains. Ye is holding Cat and finds the opening pick on Curry, trying to jiggle. Marv used both of his strided steps in order to blink first opposite A main and then into line, and both Leaf and Zeppa expected this and double push him with a fragment. OpTic is forced off of A main and starts to consolidate control towards mid. Victor pops his ult to re-clear wine and then go onto site. Victor goes into garden and makes his way through glass with a flash. Leaf and Zeppa are both playing back on site, trying to maintain control. Finesse stuns Jen, and Crashy starts trying to peek out through door. Victor pops his decoy and swings out wide heaven, and Crashies finds Zeppa on Jen. Leaf is able to find Crashies, and then an ult from Vanity gives Leaf the space to find a 3k. Ye is left in a 1v3, which he loses. This is one of the first rounds where C9 successfully shuts down OpTic's A push. A big part of that success is just having this double anchor towards backside, trying to maintain a foothold. Additionally, Vanity's ult completely shuts down FNS's trade on Leaf, and Leaf just goes huge in getting the first 2, who are pushing him in hell. In round 8, C9 uses a one-way smoke and knife to hold OpTic back and push Leaf into Wine. A Prowler comes out to try to clear him out, and Leaf gets flashed off the angle. After exchanging some more util towards A main, OpTic sets up their same A site execute that they used before. C9 has tried to adapt and is trying to anchor Curry towards back gen and Leaf in Hell once again. This time, Marv uses his blind on Gen, which forces Curry to stay in place. Marv scales up along the left side of Gen, while Victor swings the right, and they clean up Curry, while Ye holds a push from Zeppa on door. Marv is able to find Leaf in Hell, and suddenly we're in a 2v5 retake. Finesse pushes Garden and finds Vanity, which forces Mitch to save. C9 tried to do two things to adapt to this A hit. First, they tried to hold on to control of A main, which OpTic was happy to dump both of their Prowlers into, as well as a Breach Flash, to take control. After losing A main, they still try to anchor 2 towards back site. However, Marv's blind completely holds down Curry, allowing a free kill, and then Leaf is left on his own in Hell and doesn't even get one. C9 loses their eco on round 9, which brings us to round 10. OpTic is once again going for their mid-control default, and Mitch unfortunately misses his shot on Victor. Victor fakes TP, but Mitch completely doesn't bite, seeing a fake 2-he the previous round. The Prowler, however, does force him off the angle. Having established bottom mid control, OpTic starts setting up for a B hit. Victor sends a TP through mid and into market. While he was on Cat, he had set a decoy to go through tree, and he pops his TP along with a haunt from Crashies. You can see that the decoy that went through tree has held both Zeppa and Curry over towards the A side of the map. Victor comes out of market with Crashies Nightfall, which clears all of back site, along with a flash from Breach. C9 has been forced into a full 5v5 retake, but Leaf is able to find the opening pick from market. FNS is able to trade instantly, and C9 doesn't want to go through the CT smoke, so they wait for Zeppa and Curry to reinforce. Vanity gets a little bit antsy, honestly, and wide swings into Ye's op, and after giving up this pick, C9 calls to save. Mitch was systematically pushed off of bottom mid by OpTic's default, and then the second TP was able to gain control of market. I think at this point C9 might have been in their heads a little bit because both Leaf and Vanity went for solo swings, and even though Leaf was able to get one, C9 was forced into a 3-man save. Round 11 starts with another mid default from OpTic, but this time Crashies sends his Prowler into B main instead of mid. C9 has now doubled up bottom mid with both Mitch and Zeppa, not looking to allow OpTic to gain control with their default. OpTic establishes B main control and leaves Ye while they rotate towards A. Ye then rotates to mid, holding an aggression with his operator, while C9 clears out A main with both the Breach stun and Wine with the Aftershock. OpTic then sets up for the same A hit that they've been doing, this time using the Breach ult in. Curry is set up on top of, some people call the Shroud, which actually is able to dodge the Breach stun. Unfortunately, the Haunt is unable to be shot in time and Curry gets scanned and flashed. Mitch is able to find the first pick on Cat, but Victor TP's in and Marv swings and finds Curry. Leaf has been stunned up by the Breach ult, but is able to find Marv before getting traded by Victor. After the door smoke fades, Mitch is also able to take out Finesse trying to get to site to plant. Knowing they're in man disadvantage, Victor jumps up and is able to find Vanity on his own in heaven. Mitch has been working on breaking the door with his knife, but Crashies finishes breaking it and catches Mitch off guard before he's able to pull his operator out, while Zeppa is jumping to heaven. With Zeppa left in a 1v2, Victor ults, spots him out, repositions to A main, and sets up a pretty much unwinnable crossfire, securing the round. The mid default, which OpTic has been using all game, has conditioned C9 to worry about it, and this time they tried to deal with it by placing 2 players in bottom mid. In all the previous rounds, OpTic has not done a 5-man hit from B main, so C9 is playing complete retake and instead trying to hold on to control of mid, preventing the split. They've also positioned 2 players on A site, with Curry in an off angle, looking to take advantage of holes in the utility. Unfortunately, Leaf is not in a position where he's able to shoot the Haunt for Curry, so Curry just gets spotted out. The flash from Breach also covers for the Haunt, popping exactly when you would be wanting to shoot it. Even with all of this, C9 was able to get this retake into a 3v2, but the retake was disjointed and OpTic was able to push both door and heaven and find solo kills, leaving Zeppa alone in a 1v2. To close out the half, OpTic is looking to do yet another A execute. This time, C9 is trying to contest A main, not allowing them to set up and get ready for that execute. Curry is on Cat looking to paranoia through A main to set up a trap for Zeppa and Leaf who are holding in Wine and from main. Unfortunately, the paranoia that he uses doesn't cover the cubby that Ye is playing in, and he's able to peek out and find Leaf for free before Zeppa's even able to swing. Zeppa's molly is also in main instead of in the cubby, so Ye is able to just play there, swing out, and find the second kill. OpTic backs off, and then gets ready to send Marv to B site with the ult, as well as fake an A hit with both the Haunt and C's from Crashies. Vanity and Curry are held towards A by the fake, while all of OpTic rotates towards B. Minch is in B main, while Marv is on backside B. Minch is able to push out of B main and catch 2 players off guard before teleporting out and getting caught by Marv, who heard the TP back to CT. Vanity and Curry are left in a 2v3 retake with Spectres, and Vanity's already tagged up. They ultimately end up losing out with both gun and man disadvantage, and good trading and post-plant positioning from OpTic. A large portion of OpTic's wins on this half came from straight up A executes. The execute revolved around Victor being first one in, teleporting to dice or sometimes to the side or towards back sight, with the standard smokes, a haunt above which scans both tree and almost all of sight, a flash on the wall to prevent anyone from contesting front sight, either an aftershock or sometimes a seize in order to prevent anyone from reinforcing through door, and then finally they occasionally use this paranoia if there's anyone playing back gen. This execute leaves almost no openings for the defense, except for in Hell, which Leaf was repeatedly playing, and Leaf playing from Hell wasn't able to shoot this haunt for Curry when he was playing on Shroud. The main way that C9 tried to adapt was anchoring 2 players towards back sight in these angles that aren't scanned by the haunt, instead of trying to shoot the haunt. I think as teams get more experienced with playing against Fade, they're going to start being ready to shoot these haunts so they don't get value, but this flash also covers for the haunt, and they time it so that any players that are looking up here are likely to get flash while trying to shoot it. The other way that C9 adapted was trying to prevent Cloud9 from taking A main early, but a lot of the time the utility usage just was a little bit off, with paranoias sometimes coming from Cat, for example, but leaving the cubby open, and the players just get caught off guard by, for example, Ye swinging out here in round 11. When they weren't doing the A execute, a lot of the time OpTic was going for one of 2 defaults. The first was with Crashies towards B main and Finesse towards A main, where they would use a fault line from Finesse to prevent any A main pressure. Sometimes Leaf was able to get into Wine, but then they'd use Aftershock or other utility to clear it out. And then this Prowler would be used to clear out B main. So this default was able to control any extremities pushes, allowing for some more options for fast hits. The other default which they used was when Crashy was playing Tiles. And why can I not pick this up? There we go. In this case, they used the Yoru TP from Cat, which ended up bottom mid with a smoke from Marved, and the Prowler comes out and clears everything out front, allowing Victor to TP in and take control of bottom mid. So this default was used when they're looking to take control of mid and use it for a B split, for example, where Victor was able to push up into Pizza, Crashy was then able to throw a haunt up over Market, allow Victor to get in, and then they split B site from both B main and Market. So OpTic was either prioritizing extremity control and turning it into hits, or prioritizing mid control, and the mid control usually led to either pivoting between tree or Market. The Yoru decoy was largely used to either send through mid, looking to break any trips that might be in Market or Pizza, or create fake Cat pressure when they're looking to go through mid. OpTic's defensive setup revolves around a trip at lane, scouting out anyone who would be coming in through B main, Fade playing Market, a Yoru TP towards CTB side, allowing him to rotate quickly between A and B, and a double stack on A, with Ye playing in mid looking for picks. C9 Sova darts A main and KO knifes Cat, and confirms that there's no one playing aggressively on A. Crashes looks to get B main info by sending a Prowler, and sees no one there. Marv puts a one-way up between the entrance to Cat and Tree, and then tucks himself in towards Switch. You can see that every position that they're playing is in a crossfire, tradable setup, with the exception of Finesse playing backside, and he's just there to hold down the A main choke. Curry smokes door, and Vanity drones out A main, and in response, Marv dodges the drone by ducking into the smoke and pushes into Tree. Marv pushes Cat and catches Leaf off guard, and then all of OpTic abandons A site in order to play retake. A blind comes through to Jen, and a dart comes out on the wall, confirming no one's on site. The smoke which Curry threw unfortunately was not flush with the door, and it allows FNS to play in it and find Zeppa trying to close the door. Finesse swings out and is able to find the next pick on Mitch, who's playing at Dice. Finally, Marv blinds back site while 3 players swing out the door and clean up the last 2 players. In round 14, C9 forces up, feeling that they're going to lose the game if they don't win this round. Victor uses his decoy at the start of the round to get tucked into B main, with Fade supporting. C9 has 1 player holding each extremity and now are sending 3 players through mid. A Prowler comes out of B main, confirming no one's close, and both Victor and Crashies fall back onto B site. C9 drones up through mid, Leaf is able to break the door, and Victor tucks into logs while sending a TP back site. Finesse sends an aftershock into the A main cubby while Ye swings and finds Mitch. In response to losing their A presence, C9 pushes up mid and looks to start a B split. Victor misses his opening shot and then TPs back site, while Finesse finds Leaf trying to explore through CT. Not knowing whether Victor is still playing logs, Curry sends his paranoia in to try to clear it out for Vanity, but of course, Victor's already back site, so it gets nothing. Zeppa pushes CT, knowing that they need to take a risk in order to even up numbers. Crashes throws a haunt into B main and it doesn't spot the lane players, and both Zeppa and Curry find the next 2 kills. Victor is able to find Zeppa on site, but gets scanned by a dart back site. Curry and Vanity are able to double drop and kill Victor even through the Omen blind. Curry and Vanity double peek Marv on lane, but they lose so much HP that Ye is able to clean up the last 2 kills quite easily. Round 15 comes down to some lost gunfights, and round 16 is an eco, so we're going to skip them. Round 17 is a B hit from C9, where the drone gets a tag on Victor, forcing him back into Market. OpTic is doubled up Market playing retake, ready to spam through the smoke with Crashy's haunt. After getting the first kill, a Sova ult comes out from Vanity, forcing Crashies off the angle. After the opening pick, OpTic backs off and lets C9 expend some util. Zeppo flashes door, looking to try to find one of the 2 players that was playing in Market, but he gets spotted out and paranoid by Marv. Victor sends a TP into Boathouse, and then after a fault line stuns Vanity up on lane, Victor TPs in. It looks like Victor threw a flash before TPing, and it probably blinded Zeppa, allowing this first kill. Marv swings in to clear stairs, and Victor pops his ult and checks lane, spotting out Vanity. Vanity is forced off lane by Victor's ult, and Marv swings him from stairs, getting the kill but getting traded out. Finesse ults Leaf back site, and Victor baits until Finesse is able to double swing with him and collect the kill. Crashies had also found Mitch trying to come out of B main, bringing OpTic for 12 rounds. Crashies used a Market haunt lineup something like this in order to play retake, doubled up with Victor in Market. They expect the smoke to go down and use it to their advantage to be able to spam through on any players that are marked. Already having man advantage from the first spam, Victor coordinated his TP and flash with FNS's fault line, allowing the second kill on Zeppa. Yoru was able to TP into Boathouse, being covered from both lane and stairs, 2 of the most common positions people might be contesting Market from. This allowed him to set up a 1v1 against Zeppa, who OpTic already knew was playing in logs. In round 18, once again Victor and Crashies are playing towards B main, using a TP to fall back as well as a decoy to get into B main, with Nightfall prepped for any contact. C9 is instead prepping 5-man towards A, but a fault line comes out from Finesse, preventing any early A main control. The following aftershock allowed Marv to get into Wine, but after hearing Vanity's drone, he breaks it and falls back into A main. Leaf has been charging up Cat solo, and Finesse finds the opening pick on him. C9 has finally basically gained control of A main, having forced Marv off. However, having lost their Cat presence, they're basically going through a single choke, with a 3-man crossfire already set up. C9 cuts noise, which forces Victor and Crashes to stay on B side. Mitch jump peeks but doesn't expect Ye to be out wide and gets caught. Curry ults into Jen, and with the flash from Zeppa is able to clean up Finesse but gets traded instantly. Zeppa and Vanity are still back in A main, and with Marved at Switch and Ye in Heaven, they're still going into a crossfire which they're unable to overcome. Because OpTic had such a dominant attack half, we didn't get to see that many looks for them on defense. They largely used Fade and Yoru paired up to hold B, and they were willing to play retake from market using a haunt over in order to spam through the smoke. Yoru often used his decoy early in the round to create a mix-up around B main, not allowing C9 to get control. Victor used his teleport sometimes as an escape tool, like a chamber might, taking an aggressive fight and then TPing out, or sometimes use it as an entry tool, where he'd use it to get an aggressive position, breaking crosshair placement, and isolating 1v1s. On pistol round, it was also used as a fast rotate, where Victor was able to play both sides of the map effectively by having his TP positioned towards the opposite site. This was C9's first game with Curry, and I think they showed signs of the inexperience with a new member and role swaps. There were moments where their utility didn't seem to be pre-thought out, and things weren't second nature. This was also one of the first weeks that Fade was available, and I think C9 showed some signs of not being super comfortable playing against it. They weren't shooting the haunts, and they weren't familiar with the common positions that might be placed on the roofs. This also shows the advantage of pulling out new agents early, because if you have a game plan and set strats with them, you can surprise your opponents with them before the tricks are common knowledge. Finally, the Yoru seems significantly more oppressive on the attack half than the defense, and I'm wondering whether OpTic intentionally chose this comp knowing that they already were going to be attacking first. OpTic ran a different comp the previous week against FaZe where they ran Neon, and I'm wondering if the comp is dependent on which side they're playing. As always, thank you so much for watching if you got this far. I was sick last week and that's why this video took so long to get out, but I'm hoping to get some more out for this week's VCT matches.